I'm insulted. My family waited years to come here. We, like you, actually, like my friend Amy, we both did things the right way. We didn't hop the line.
Dude, Lindy Li she's so phony, dude.
Yeah. We didn't storm the southern border,
It cost
right?
a lot of money. It took a lot of time, and
came through JFK Airport.
She's like, we didn't storm the southern border, but hey, Lindy, you just defected to the party that stormed the fucking Capitol. Like, what are you fucking talking about? You are now raising money for the party that pardoned everybody who stormed the Capitol. Okay, you didn't storm the southern border. You stormed the goddamn government. You stupid bitch.
My family created hundreds of jobs. We weren't parasites or leeches on the system. This is the way it should be done.
Well, look, I think this particular case goes beyond someone simply entering the country illegally.
Right.
I also don't love using words like parasites to refer to human beings, but putting that aside, this is someone who has committed violent crimes, who has no problem literally punching someone in the face 30 times. Like, I get that left-wingers, Democrats want to always do the opposite of what the Trump administration wants, but let's take a...
Yeah, you see that? You see that? That the left people have no integrity. They're not fighting for due process. They're just doing the opposite of what Trump wants. Anna, fuck you, okay? Fuck you, sniffing PBD's taint and looking like shit on this fucking Temu The View fucking bullshit excursion, okay? Come on. Anna.
And really reevaluate what's being defended here by Democrats.
And why is it being defended? That is more so my
Yeah.
question. We understand that sometimes, just like legal citizens of this country, immigrants do terrible things. I agree.
Yeah.
Maybe the parasitic label is going a little too far. However,
I don't think so in the case of...
Maybe the parasitic label is going too far. Maybe Lindy Li's over there. These people are parasites, right? Jesus, dude. Oh my God. Like they're all just letting that slide. Yeah, dude, Lindy Li, I mean, next she's going to call them vermin, right? I mean, if you're a parasite, are you one step away from being vermin? Is she about to quote Hitler? And the ladies are like, look, I don't want to anger you. I'm not going to go as far as Hitler Lindy over here, but...
wife beater.
I understand that, but I'm saying labeling immigrants overall. My question for you, being somebody who's more so on the left side of things, what is with the left's position to want to defend these people literally till the ends of the earth when parasitic behavior, and I'll give you that label for this person, is fully on display? Why do they want to defend it so much to the point that they're literally concealing and trying to get this person out of the judge chambers through a backdoor entrance?
I think the country had a problem with hyperpartisanship prior to Trump, but Trump basically took that issue and now it's on steroids. And so...
Well, no, it's not on steroids. It's the fact that ICE is already grabbing people without due process. They're grabbing people without warrants. We've had people who've committed no crimes sent to El Salvadorian prisons and a 9-0 Supreme Court ruling ignored. So pardon us if from here on out, we're not allowing ICE to take anybody without due process being faithfully executed. You fucking stupid taint-sniffing bitches.
When your brain is so broken that you're unwilling to agree with the Trump administration on something that's totally agreeable, which is bringing this guy who's here illegally to justice and deporting him, you've lost the plot, right?
Well, first off, everybody who's here undocumented doesn't necessarily need to be deported. And the last time I checked, I don't think this guy has been found guilty of a crime yet. I'm not saying he didn't do it, but like, dude, it's a broken brain. If you're fighting for due process, Anna says you have a broken brain. It's not broken brains, Anna. And it's not that we can't agree with Trump, but there is nothing about this that is agreeable with Trump because, Anna, there was a bipartisan border bill to address the path to legalization. Trump killed it. Why did he kill it? Because he wanted to manipulate this issue to run on. He's lying about it, saying we've been invaded by Trinidad and Venezuela, so he can try to deport people without due process. And simultaneously, he says the border is 99.99% secured. So he's lying in order to have his thugs go around Gestapo-like and grab anyone and everyone they can. They've been deporting American citizens. They've been deporting nonviolent criminals. They've been like holding people from Canada and other places and not letting them talk to lawyers and being abusive and manipulative and fucking toxic. And you're defending all that and saying if we don't agree with your stupid ass reasoning, we have broken brains? No, woman. You got a broken brain. You got a broken brain to call yourself a progressive or a leftist of any degree and to sit here simultaneously fucking gaslighting us from this shitty fucking Temu view fucking set. Okay? Like, bro. Come on.
So, Jillian, you asked me why I use language like that because they are a drain on our system, and Americans need so much help right now.
Yes,
I really want to take care of our own people because they're ailing. Our kids are going into deteriorating schools. We lack the resources to take care of our own people, and that's just my point of view.
I agree.
Yeah, it's funny. She just said our own people are suffering from deteriorating schools. Well, what is your President Trumpy doing? Oh, yeah. He's shutting down the Department of Education. He cut their workers in half. He's threatening to deny states money, okay, for their schools and to take away money to help the special needs students. And they're fucking garnishing people's wages, okay, for their student loans, right? So she's like, oh, yeah, our schools are failing. Oh, yeah. Well, the same president who's doing these mass deportations without due process is trying to crash the school system too, okay? Oh, shit. Oh, wow, Lindy Li? Yo, you want your fucking toddler to put some more fucking lipstick on and maybe you give us an answer to why the fuck he's doing that?
That's why it's important for Congress to pass legislation that has staying power.
I understand.
You know?
But the thing is, it was such an emergency in my eyes, and in the eyes of millions of Americans around the country. We needed to stop this like flood of migrants coming in. And I can't.
Hey, can I just show you guys real quick? Because Lindy Li's talking about the border, right? Lindy Li, the flood of migrants. Hold on. I do want to show you. Look at Lindy Li. When Kamala took over, Lindy Li had something to say about the border. You ready? Here it is.
She is now able to galvanize young people in states that were formerly completely out of play. Michigan is back. Young people who were disenchanted or completely tuned out are back. The energy behind her has been absolutely phenomenal. I don't remember this level of excitement since I was a kid cheering for Senator Obama. This is just truly incredible. And for some perspective, it took me a year essentially to raise 1.1 million for President Biden. It took me a week to raise 2 million for Kamala Harris. So this is astounding and completely unprecedented.
Now, guys, as you can see, clearly she was worried about the border, right? She had these real issues with the invasion and the people just streaming in at the border when she raised $2 million for Kamala Harris in 1 week, right? Despite those horrific border policies, despite the fact that Joe Biden was so terrible on immigration, she was out there saying, oh my God, I've never been able to raise money easier. And I have not been this excited since Obama. I'm so worried about the border and the people streaming in that I feel this elation of like Barack Obama. Right? Wow. Now that was Lindy Li. That was August, guys. Okay, you ready? Hold on. Here we go.
The thing is, it was such an emergency in my eyes, and in the eyes of millions of Americans around the country. We needed to stop this like flood of migrants coming in. And I can't believe I'm playing this role, but I'm about to say something controversial again.
Do it.
Shocker.
So,
You're kidding.
the great replacement theory that they call neo-Nazi ideology.
Okay, explain for everyone what that is.
So for those who aren't familiar, it's the idea that Democrats are letting in millions of people from like South America, Central America, like random parts of the world, Africa, whatever. And they want to bring them into these Democratic strongholds, and they're registering them as voters to create this permanent, illegitimate electoral majority. And when Tucker Carlson said this, when other people said, when Elon said it, they labeled him as Nazi, as Hitler. I actually think it's happening.
I mean, you look at this.
Dude, she went there. Holy shit, bro. She's like, here, I'm gonna be Nazi. I'm gonna play the role of the Nazi real quick. Dude, she literally just went, oh yeah, that replacement theory that Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes and, you know, all those great anti-Semitic and racist people have been talking about, right? That eugenics and shit. She's like, yeah, that shit's real. Like, the replacement theory is real. The Democrats are importing voters to replace the white race. Wow, dude. That is like, that's crazy. I mean, dude, at least she's on the record there. But dude, she went right to the replacement theory. She actually went pro replacement theory on Patrick Bet-David's show. I mean, I get it. She has nothing to lose because everybody hates her, right? She's done with the Democrats. The right-wing people don't like her. But this is the same woman, though, right?
Michigan is back. Young people who are disenchanted or completely tuned out are back. The energy behind her has been absolutely phenomenal. I don't remember this level of excitement since I was a kid cheering for Senator Obama. This is just truly incredible. And just for some perspective, it took me a year essentially to raise 1.1 million for President Biden. It took me a week to raise 2 million for Kamala Harris.
Dude, look at that, bro. She went from this to the replacement theory in 6 months. Wow. That is like, you know, when you see a speedboat make a turn so sharp that it just flips? That is one of those, bro. Oh my God, dude. I hate to say it, but we need the 𝗙𝗟𝗑 boss. My head is spinning, bro.
When you look at all of the states that Harris won by...
Dude, look at this, though. Dude, is the replacement theory, is anyone going to challenge this? She did. She speed ran being a Nazi. That's fucking accurate. Is anyone going to challenge this, or she just dropped like basically a full Nazi ideology? I mean, earlier in the podcast, she talked about immigrants being parasites, and now she dropped the full Nazi replacement theory ideology. Is anyone going to say anything to her, right? All right, here we go.
And they want to bring them into these Democratic strongholds, and they're registering them as voters to create this permanent illegitimate electoral majority. And when Tucker Carlson said this, when other people said, when Elon said it, they labeled him as Nazi, as Hitler. I actually think it's happening.
I mean, you look at the state, when you look at all of the states that Harris won by sweeping majority, pretty much all of those, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's all of them were states that don't mandate any type of voter ID.
As far as I understand it, and everyone correct me if I'm wrong, there's absolutely no proof that illegals were voting.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy theory.
Registering them as
I'm open to evidence. I'd love to see the evidence.
Hold on. That's not what I meant. I mean, like, they have them in the country, and over the course of years, you know, I'm not saying overnight they become citizens.
These immigrants tend to be far more socially conservative than the Democratic Party is. In fact, increasingly so.
I mean, a lot of them, yes, especially ones that are fleeing communist countries. However, but that's,
they don't know
do you really think that's a sweeping majority?
So, dude, not one person challenged her on dropping the replacement theory in, right there. You've heard the saying, right, that if you're sitting at a table with if 10 guys are sitting at a table with a Nazi and they don't get up and leave, there's 11 Nazis at the table, right? How many Nazis do we have at this fucking wannabe view desk? This giant dude, what is going on? Dude, Kasparian went from, like, you know, defund the police and sanctuary cities to, oh, I'm hanging out with the replacement theory. And then Jillian's like, well, we don't have proof they voted yet. I'm not going to dispute that they've actually moved them here, but we can't prove that they voted. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.